Hey there guys, Luke here with the Outdoor Gear Review. Hope you're all doing well. Today for this episode we are going out for a day hike, and we are going to Dalton Park, North Carolina, which is on the Blue Ridge Parkway, about an hour north of here. The place is gorgeous, the views are amazing, and you guys are going to love it. We're also testing out some good gear today, including this backpack. This is the Camelback Tri-Zip. Pretty sweet indeed. So guys, we might as well hit the road. We got to rock and roll. It's going to take a while to get there. And let me say, right now, it is about 54 degrees. Unreal. Check out that backpack. That is sweet. I'll definitely be showing this off to you guys more later on.
We can test, you know, they can go with them or we don't do it.
Alright folks, we are almost to Dalton Park, also known as Alligator's Back. Just thought I'd pull over here and just take a look at the beautiful sights. This is absolutely amazing countryside. It is so beautiful out here. Now, years ago, this is part of the parkway. The section down here was closed. So there was about a 25-mile section that was closed, and you actually had a detour off of the parkway, and it was a heck of a detour, too. But some friends and I, we would used to come up here on the weekends, and we would walk the road, you know? So, I mean, nobody was out here driving around, and like I said, it was closed from the other direction, and I tell you what, one night we had an awesome experience. It was a little bit chilly, it was foggy as heck, and so we're out here, we're walking on the roads, and, you know, we're basically making our way down to a gravesite that's a little ways down here. And so we're walking the roads, like I said, super foggy. We start hearing coyotes, right? So there's one group that's ahead of us, and they're a little bit loud. So we keep on walking. They're following us. They're barking away, laughing at us. Then there's another pack of coyotes, closer. Then there's another pack of coyotes, even closer. And so the entire time that we walked, we had coyotes surrounding us in this super dense fog. Myself, I kind of got a kick out of it. I kind of like that sort of thing. My buddy Chris, he was pretty nervous about it. He was pretty worried. And of course, my brother, he thought it was pretty funny too. But definitely just a cool experience. Thought I'd share that with you. Especially since it took place right about here. Let's keep on going, guys.
You can call now, 704-549.
That's where we had the bushcraft lunch at. One of our first day hikes when the channel first started, over a year ago. It's actually been a long time since I've been out here. So, I'm pretty excited to be back. There's a lot of really cool scenery out here. Beautiful land. No doubt about it. And this is a beautiful overlook. Beautiful mountains. Absolutely gorgeous. And right up here, folks, is where we're heading. That's the Alligator's Back right there, also known as the Bluffs, part of Dalton Park. And they call it the Alligator's Back because it's so rough and rocky. I was out here one night chasing thunderstorms, and I was parked basically right here, and the thunder was just absolutely rocking and rolling. If I have the photos, I'll post them on the screen for you because they were incredible, incredible storm. Let's keep on going. All right. Overall, this looks like a pretty good place to start. Really, there are so many trails out here that we could go anywhere. We could spend days out here if we wanted to. To start off this adventure, we are going to Wildcat Rock. It's a pretty cool place. Get ready for this view, everybody. It is spectacular. Look at the scenery here, the mountains, the gorge. Gorgeous. Now take a look down here, my friends. There's an old house. And that cabin there is from the early 1900s. We're gonna go ahead and fire up the GPS now. And really that's just more to track our distance than anything else. I really haven't decided yet what trails I'm gonna take. I'm just gonna show you guys around. It is a beautiful day here in the high country. It's gonna be about 57 degrees here. And after a nice cold winter, this is perfect. Absolutely gorgeous. Here in a little bit, I'll show this pack off to you. Definitely unique. Before we take off, I definitely need a snack though. Now this is a sort of trail mix, and I absolutely love this stuff. It's Cars sweet and salty mix. Freaking fantastic. Right now it looks like we have this entire place to ourselves, which is fantastic because I like to go lone wolf style, as you guys know. Now with that cabin down there, there is a way to get to it, but I'm not entirely sure how. All right, everybody, we're in pretty good shape, have the energy to explore. Let's do this. We're just gonna hit the trails here and just kind of walk around a little bit. Like I said before, there are trails all over the place here. So we'll see what we kind of fall into. Now, for this trip, there are multiple purposes, really. One, it is such a gorgeous day, I just had to get out. And two, I have a ton of gear to test out as well. Some of it I'm wearing, some of it's in the pack, part of it is the pack, all that good stuff. But I tell you what, I don't need too many excuses to get outdoors, if you know what I mean. You know, I can't help but smile, just because it feels so dang good out. Absolutely amazing weather, especially for March. I do apologize for any wind noise. Can't do much about that. Essentially, this park is still closed, still part of winter, so it won't open up for another couple of months. So, it really is just like having the whole place to yourself. Now, I know I already jumped the gun and told you guys a story already about the coyotes, but I have another story that I have for lunchtime that's pretty wild. Another recent event that took place in my neck of the woods. It's definitely a pretty good one, no doubt about it. This is definitely a coyote-rich environment. They are everywhere around here. Right now I'm a little bit off trail. Just want to do a little bit of exploring here. Looks like we still have quite a bit of snow on the ground here in spots. You guys can get a good idea of just how deep some of our snows have been this winter. Already we've made some pretty good progress. Let me go ahead and show you. Basically, we started over there on the edge of that cliff wall, all the way down, all the way up, and here we are. One thing I noticed here off in the distance, someone's got a fire. Now, if you guys are a fan of my Facebook page, you guys may have seen the photo of me either sitting at a tree, kind of looking off into the sunset, or standing next to a tree looking off into the sunset. And this is actually the place that that photo was taken, and it's right up here on top of this mountain. Right there is that tree. Definitely one of my most favorite spots out here. I can't begin to tell you guys how many times I have sat on that tree there underneath it and just watched the storms come in and out. As I'm hiking up here, looking off into the distance, looking at the mountains, I see a familiar sight. And you guys may recognize this from our 6,000 foot day hike video, the one with the plane crash. You can actually see that mountain from here. Let me zoom in on it. So we're zooming in. And that is it right there. That is Grandfather Mountain. It looks like a face looking up into the heavens. We are heading way out there. That's Alligator's Back. Right here is my favorite tree. Now, sadly, someone's been up here defacing this tree with what I would call graffiti. For some reason, people always have the need to carve things into trees, and anytime that you start taking off the bark of a tree, there's a good chance you're going to kill it. So take a look at that there. Got a cross. This is deep. It says Dad on it. Now, you know, I support anybody in their religion, but I don't like that one bit. But that's just people for you. Always got to be marking on things, tear things up. Can't just let it be. But anyway, take a look at this view. I was kind of hoping to be able to stop here for a little bit and chill, but it's just too windy. I can't really record here. So we might as well continue on. Talk about a cool tree. Check this thing out. Who knows how long this tree has sit here. With this tree here, I absolutely love the grains of it. It has so many different ways of flowing. It's really cool. It's hollowed out in the middle, in the center of it. It goes up, it branches to the behind of it, and then it branches this way, comes down and curves. That is phenomenal. Now, some of you guys may be familiar with the Mountain to Sea Trail. You guys have heard me mention it a number of times in my videos. We've done a couple Mountain to Sea Trail day hikes. This is also part of the Mountain to Sea Trail. Basically, this trail goes from the top of North Carolina in the mountains all the way down to like Mount Mitchell. And then it goes down basically to the coast. It eventually ends at the ocean. That is the white circle right there. The white circle leads the way for the Mountain to Sea Trail. Out here at Dalton Park, you can do some backcountry camping if you want to. Basically, all you have to do is talk to a ranger, go to the ranger station, and get a permit. Nothing to it, really. It is definitely a beautiful place to go camp at. We have made it up here to the bluffs, or what I call the Alligator's Back. Gorgeous spot. It really is. Take a look at this view. Well, we've made it to the bluffs, guys. This is the Alligator's Back. And like I said, this is because it's so rocky, so scaly, just kind of like the back of an alligator. I personally have many good memories here. Not only chasing storms, but being with friends and family. I came out here one day, chasing thunderstorms, and it pretty much fizzled out. There was no storms to be had. They kind of just went around us, dissipated. But so I'm waiting for a long time, and right before I decided to just pack up and leave, right as the sun was going down, like the fog really thickens up. I mean, it became so foggy. I mean, you could hardly see about 10 feet in front of your face. And so you have that heavy fog with this sunset. And like the sun must have been able to shine its light onto that fog that was surrounding us. The whole thing glowed pink. It was bizarre. Beautiful, but it was incredibly eerie. And I do have those photos, and I'll put them on the screen for you now. Now, a completely different time I was out here chasing storms. Again, fizzled out. That's just kind of how it works when you're a storm chaser. But the sun's going down. I decided just to sit it out, watch the sunset. Had nothing else to do. I'm so far away from home. And it was definitely one of the most gorgeous sunsets I've ever seen. And it was casting like this golden ray of light onto this mountain over here. Let me show you. The sun was setting over here and casting a light all the way to that mountain right there. And I'll show that picture on the screen now. Well, folks, we have left the bluff and we're back out here into the bald. We're going to continue on this trail over here a little ways and go to a shelter where we're going to stop and have lunch. So here is the shelter here at Dalton Park. This is a pretty good size shelter right here. You have a nice bench to sit on. Feels good to sit down for a second. I've been doing so much hiking lately that my legs are a little bit sore. Now you can camp out here with a permit. You might be able to stay here. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest with you. Definitely, if you're interested in coming out to Dalton Park, check with the ranger. You might be able to stay here. You can tell that recently this has received a fresh coat of paint. It is definitely time for lunch. But before we go to lunch, let me show off this pack to you. This is the Camelback Tri-Zip. And let me tell you, this thing is highly unique. You may have seen something similar to it from Mystery Ranch. And basically that's because Camelback just licenses it from them. It actually has a Mystery Ranch frame to it. But you have these two zippers here at the top that open up the lid, right? Then you have a zipper here in the front that opens up the body of the pack. And you can just spread it open. And on the inside you have many different pockets, sleeves. You can basically customize this pack to your liking. It is awesome. There's no doubt about it. You talk about one comfortable riding pack, that is this thing right here. And it's also adjustable for just about anybody to wear. Now for our meal today, we're going to have a Mountain House meal. And it is a beef stroganoff with noodles. After that, we might actually have some coffee. Or we may wait till we get back to the truck to fire up the stove. Something like that. We'll see. Here is our cook set, and this is the Espit cook set, which you can burn solid fuel or alcohol. And this is a pretty nice kit altogether. Here's the Espit alcohol stove, basically just a Trangia ripoff. Here's the stand and a makeshift windscreen, and here's the pot itself. And this actually has measurements on the inside, so I don't have to guesstimate how much water to put in this thing. That's a first. Here's our little stove. And basically it sits in this right here, just like so, with this on top. You have the perfect amount of distance between the burner and the actual stove itself. This kit really does work well. Now, I will probably move this to the inside in here, just because it's so freaking windy right now. But we can go ahead and get ready. So, right here in this corner is a pretty good spot. We'll just use our striker here to light it up. Alrighty. Now it will take a few seconds, up to a minute to prime, but then it'll be ready to go. As you can see, it's starting to prime. It's not quite ready, but it's getting there. And guys, that is pretty much it. Now all we have to do is just sit and wait. That is a good stove, guys. It really does work well. And I have to say so far that I'm really, really impressed with this Camelback Tri-Zip. Super comfortable. It is a little bit expensive. These packs usually run around $200, $250, something like that. But for what you're getting, for some people it is definitely worth it. I think it's a fantastic deal myself. If you're familiar with Mystery Ranch, you know how expensive their gear is, and it's absolutely bomber. This pack right here really is no different. Also, something else that we're testing out today is this vest right here. This is from Fjallraven, and at the moment I do not remember the name of it. I'll have to post that on the screen. Now, in a couple of days following this video, we will have a gear loadout video, and I'll show off all the clothing that I'm wearing, of course the backpack in more detail, along with every single piece of gear that I brought with me. Alright guys, our water is done. She is boiling. And that didn't take long at all, guys, not long at all. Go ahead and seal this up here for about 12 minutes. Always make sure you got these things sealed really well before you do that. We actually ran out of alcohol, so I'm going to put a little bit more in there. Oh, about half an ounce will do. And we'll just strike this up one more time. There you go. On the inside of this pack, there are some very awesome mesh pockets that really do a good job of holding your gear into place. And you can also zip them up. Looks like our water is almost to the boiling point. Good, because I want coffee. Our water is done. I pulled it off the burner right as it was about to start boiling. The last little bit of alcohol in there, I'll just let it burn off by itself. And we have some Taster's Nasty, my favorite coffee. Our food should be just about ready. It's pretty close. Usually you can tell, if you have enough experience with these, you can tell just by how warm they are if they're ready or not. This is almost there, just a tad bit longer. You can tell that I've eaten a lot of these things. Coffee time, my friends. Cheers. Not bad at all. Oh man, that smells amazing. Take a look at that, guys. Hopefully you can see that. Oh yeah. That is awesome. That is incredibly good, guys. Incredibly good. So the question becomes, is Luke starving to death and this tastes amazing because he's so hungry? Or is Mountain House just simply awesome? Up to you. Let me know what you think in the comment box below. Alright, so one more bite, a sip of coffee, I have a story to tell you. I tell you what, if I was a single man, I would eat those for lunch and dinner every day. Maybe the next time that we come out here, I'll figure out how to get down to that cabin. I definitely want to go explore that place. Alright, now it's time for the story. I'm going to take a break from eating, I'll drink some coffee, and I'll tell you my tale. Now, about 2 weeks ago, it was a Friday night, my wife and I were laying in bed, it's probably about 10:30 or so. She's surfing the internet, I am too, and we hear a weird noise. And it was pretty short, and to me it sounded like when that drunk college kid plowed into the rocks in my yard and I found him rolling around in the snow. It was just like that, but really short. And so, of course, I look out the window to make sure Drunk college kid didn't do that again. Didn't see nothing. And so I get in bed, and I remember looking out the window, and I could see that one of the neighbors is outside with a flashlight about a quarter mile away. You could just kind of see it flashing around through the woods a little bit. So I figured that he must have done something, who knows what, but everything seemed fine. So I ended up going to bed. The next morning, it's about 6:45 or so. My daughter's getting ready to get onto the school bus, and I open up the blinds, and I'm staring out there kind of waiting for the bus to come, and I realize what that noise was. My neighbor has two old trucks that he likes, and one of them was actually burned up in a fire, so it's just a shell of a truck, and that one's behind it, and the one that he actually drives is in front of it. A tree fell off of the bank, came straight down, and smashed his truck completely in two. Smashed it right in half. That was that crunching sound that I heard. And that tree is humongous. The thing was huge. I mean, I tell you what, if it was any bigger, it would have gone across the road and smashed his house. Probably would have killed him. And the best part is I actually have a little bit of video of that truck. So go ahead and take a look at it now. Oh. Isn't that something? The tree fell off the mountain and smashed that truck in half. He is incredibly lucky that it fell on the truck that was already destroyed. I'll tell you. What's funny about that night is that it wasn't even windy. That tree, whatever reason, just gave way. But you know what? He now has enough firewood to last him for the rest of the winter. It is time to start beating our feet once more. Lunch was fantastic. Ooh, I'm ready to warm up a little bit. Let's go. Just so you guys know what it looks like, here's a fresh pile of coyote poop. You can see that there's hair in it. And usually when you see that light gray pile, nothing but hair, that's pretty old scat. This is definitely fresh, within a day or so. Just a little while ago I showed you a fresh pile, and this is an old pile. It is now time for us to head on back to the truck. We definitely have a ways to go, and let me tell you, it feels absolutely amazing out here. So, you know, as far as our test goes of this pack, the Tri-Zip, man, it is a performer. Talk about awesome. I tell you what, I have to say, already, this might just be one of my favorite packs, to be honest with you. It is super comfortable. I mean, it handles the load very well. It's super easy to adjust, and it's very adjustable for everybody. I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. Also, I have to say that I really like this vest. I mean, it is really comfortable. It does a really good job of blocking out the wind and kind of insulating your core all at the same time. So I'm able to walk around. It's about 50 degrees in the sunlight carrying this load. You know, especially when I'm going uphill, I'm starting to sweat. But having your arms able to breathe while insulating your core at the same time, very awesome. Like I said before, I don't remember the name of this vest, so I'll just have to flash it on the screen for you. Usually Fjallraven has words that I can hardly pronounce anyways, so instead of embarrassing myself, I'll just flash it on the screen. Also, the S-Spit alcohol stove did a fantastic job. That cooking kit there, fantastic job. Really, really good. Another piece of gear that I have here that I'm testing out is that RAV Power power brick. I have my phone, and right here, horrible service, so I'm sure the battery's kind of draining as it kind of searches for a signal. So definitely on the ride home, I will be using that to charge the phone. And I've been testing this thing out for a while now. It rocks. It's fantastic. The thing is that you can always do some more testing. So there you go. I mean, now when I come out for these trips, I mean, it is all about I mean, take a look. Look around here. Do a 360 with me. This is what it's all about, guys. Right here. I get to come out here. I get to play around, have a good time. It's inspirational just to be out here. There's an energy when you're going solo that you just cannot find when you're with other people. And I absolutely love it. Plus, I get to come out here and howl like the lone wolf that I am. Oh! Yeah! I thought I just heard a helicopter. There it is, a Black Hawk. Well, we made it to the top of the mountain here. We're about to head on down, cross the field, eventually make our way back to the truck. Really just a short and sweet day hike is what we had right here. Had some lunch, looking at some beautiful mountains. So far, we've seen a turkey, we saw a deer. Pretty freaking awesome. Really, it has been a fantastic trip. I really wish someone didn't cut it in that tree, though. That's a shame, I tell ya. Man, these mountains are absolutely gorgeous. Take a look at them one more time. See how they're all looking blue? Blue and hazy? That's why they're called the Blue Ridge Mountains. Now, one thing that's coming up with the channel here, a video that I've been asked to do, and actually something that I've been wanting to do, deals with solo hiking. Now, you guys already know that I'm a big fan of solo hiking. There's a lot of perks to it. There's a lot of reasons to do it. But, you know, at the same time, there are risks involved. There are risks involved with everything. It doesn't matter what it is. When you hop in your car and you drive to work, that's a risk. So, in the future, actually I'm kind of working on it right now, getting all the material put together. But there will be a video about solo hiking for you guys who are interested in doing the same. There are plenty of reasons to go backpacking with your buddies. And there's also plenty of reasons to go backpacking by yourself. Each have a place in my book. Whoa. All right, guys. Here is one reason why backpacking by yourself is so much fun. Because if I was out here with somebody else, we'd be talking, we'd be loud, and there wouldn't be this down here in the field. Take a look. Now see guys, that's exactly what I'm talking about. The odds are, if you were out here with somebody else, you'd be talking, laughing, having fun, scaring every animal away. That's just one reason why I love to go out and backpack solo. Now of course, there are a lot of risks involved. You're definitely putting so much more pressure on yourself and your own skill set. It's important that you know what you're doing. But even to the most experienced individual, things happen, guys. That's just how it goes. No one should ever be in the mindset that, hey, I'm going to go out and be A-okay every single time. Nothing's ever going to happen, because that's not the real world. That's not how things go. That's ignorance right there. You know, last night I was out with a friend of mine. We were hiking around. We were actually doing the Tanawa Trail, which you guys may actually remember. Very rocky trail, super rough. We were doing that at nighttime. It was pretty fun, but definitely slow going, no doubt. But we were talking about the perception that nature's out to get you, that it's a battle against nature. And that is completely bogus. That's nonsense. Nature's not out to get you, but mistakes are punished quickly in nature. There's a huge difference. Think of this, folks. If you were to go out and set up camp and then spill meat and food all over the place, and then you have a bear come into your camp, tear up your tent, maybe kill your buddy, who knows what, that's your fault. That's not nature against you. You know what I mean? Now, if you go set up your camp, you don't spill food, you string up a bear bag, you put up your garbage, whatever. If you're smart and you minimize the dangers, 99% of the time you're going to be A-okay. You know, truly, it only becomes man versus nature if you're doing it wrong. Simple as that. So my friends, I want to say thank you all for watching this video. I'm almost back to the truck here. I got about a quarter mile left, half mile. And I think I'm going to spend that time just kind of meditating, thinking to myself, typically what I like to do when I'm out backpacking. You know, it's funny how you use your time, how your mind works when you're out backpacking. Usually in the morning I have the most energy so I could problem solve. I like to think about issues in my life. And I tell you what, I usually come up with some pretty good solutions that way. Everybody, I do want to say thank you all for joining me for this episode. It's been an awesome day hike. We've tested out some pretty good gear. Some I'm very, very impressed with. Of course, if you like this content, let me know. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out our Facebook page, our website. You'll find links down below in the description box, of course. Guys, take care. Be well.
Thank you.